weren't using tapes. Do you have a digital recorder? Yeah.
Yeah, well, the one on, yeah, the one that's recording and then, yeah.
You're all set then?
I mean, yeah.
You don't need tapes,
A backup, I mean, whatever you.
No?
Back up the
Back
backup.
up next time.
No, it's all on, we have it all saved on the computers.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, you all right?
Are we live? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Virginia Harger, Chairperson of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is Tuesday, January 12th, 2021, and the special meeting of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission is hereby called to order. A Happy New Year to everyone, and my personal hopes that this is a healthier year for everyone. This meeting is categorized as a special meeting as it is being held at a time other than when our regular meeting was to take place, but this is because of the new, it used to be a special meeting, but the list of regular meetings has been submitted, and this does, even though it's at 4:30, and our regular meetings used to be at 7, we did note change to a 4:30 start time on the meeting list that was submitted to the town clerk's office, and this would be considered a regular meeting. So it is no longer in the special meeting category of this particular meeting. The protocol for this afternoon's meeting was previously reviewed by Corporation Counsel, who indicated to me it is compliant with the executive orders issued by the governor and fair for those attending in person or watching from a remote location. Just a reminder that all commissioners and staff attending today's meeting in person and others in the auditorium are reminded of the need to wear masks that cover the nose and mouth throughout the meeting, even when speaking. Cooperation is very much appreciated. Would everyone present in the auditorium please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I invite all who are participating remotely to do the same. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll continue with our agenda, beginning with our roll call. When your name is called, please verbally indicate you're present, and I'll begin with those who are participating remotely. Commissioner Parkins?
Present.
Commissioner Ticky?
Present.
Commissioner Radomski? Mr. Panico, our consultant?
Present.
Commissioner Usal?
Present.
Commissioner Radomski, are you participating? Okay, continuing our roll call with those in the auditorium. Myself, Commissioner Harger, Commissioner Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Motto. Mr. Rossetti, our P&Z Administrator.
Present.
Mr. O'Neill, our Assistant P&Z Administrator.
Here.
Mr. Nappy, our Downtown Projects Coordinator.
Present.
And Mrs. Renatos, our Recording Secretary. For the record, alternate Commissioner Laskos is unable to participate in today's meeting, and as Commissioner Radomski did not identify himself as being present, Commissioner Usal, will you please sit in for Commissioner Radomski until such time that he does join the meeting? He did plan to do so.
That sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Usal. A couple of points before continuing with this afternoon's agenda. This is the Commission's 24th meeting being done via a live streaming process. Commissioners participating in person and remotely will be able to make comments throughout the meeting so that we are not all talking across each other, and our recording secretary is clear as to who is speaking. Commissioners are asked to please say Madam Chair and then your name. As soon as the Chair recognizes you, you are free to speak. Please be aware that you may hear an echo. Commissioners participating remotely are asked to be aware and remember that microphones on computers will pick up ambient sounds which will be heard in the auditorium throughout the PA system, including movement of papers, phones ringing, and conversations if others are in the room. So if at all possible and you have the ability to do so, please mute the audio on your computer. We'll begin with agenda item 4, applications for certificates of zoning compliance. My understanding is that the zoning subcommittee met to review these particular applications. First one is application 4673, Victor Catano, 3 Huntington Street, for a roof sign to replace the roof sign used by a previous tenant. This application was first heard at the December 8th, 2020 meeting, where I indicated that section 44-4.4 of our sign regulations do not permit roof-mounted signs. There are 3 distinct styles for signs of the buildings in the shopping center: roof-mounted, fascia-mounted, and canopy. I indicated that I felt it was appropriate for a replacement sign to match the existing style for the building. After discussion by the commission voted to table this application to allow corporate counsel to comment on whether or not this was a pre-existing non-conforming use. Have we received any comments from Corporation Counsel, Mr. Rossetti? Or Mr. O'Neill?
Yeah, I have, comments from Attorney Theodosia.
Okay.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
The current sign located on the roof is legally non-conforming under section 44.3.5 of the Shelton zoning regulations. If the work/maintenance necessary to replace it with a new sign entails less than 50% of the work for the whole sign, the new sign application must be granted. See further 44.3.5, also see 44.3.1, which exempts change of name of the sign from any commission review. So it sounds like he agrees with you that it would be a legal non to continue to put the sign on the roof.
Okay.
Hey, Chairwoman, could you ask him to,
Commissioner Parkins?
could you please ask him to speak into the mic? It was very hard to hear anything he just said.
Okay, yeah, he did pretty much, but do you hear me better than you heard Mr. O'Neill?
I can hear you very clearly.
Okay. Josh, do you have notes, or is it a letter from Corporation Counsel?
It's an email.
All right, let me read that again then. Thank you. Okay, this is an email from Corporation Counsel Teodoso. Is this better for you, Commissioner Parkins?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so what it was that he was saying is the current sign located on the roof is legally non-conforming under section 44.3.5 of the Shelton zoning regulations. If the work maintenance necessary to replace it with a new sign entails less than 50% work, the new sign application must be granted. See further 44.3.5. Also see section 44.3.1, which exempts change of name of sign from any commission review. And that was dated today. Okay? All right, so, by the way, is the applicant present? Why don't you come up to the podium, sir, just in case you have any questions. So, this is for Catano.
What's the what?
Catano's Katina?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and just, for the record, sir, state your name and address for our...
My name is Victor Catano, and my residence is 114 Park Avenue, Shelton, and the store for which this hearing is for is at 3 Huntington Street.
Right. Okay. On this particular sign, it's internally lit, and did the Commissioner Amato, did the sign committee talk about this any further?
No, we did not.
Okay.
Waiting on that input.
Okay. All right. This is, from what I understand, is the kind of, your deli is going to provide Latino Tex-Mex style food. Okay. Just wanted to ask, you have on your sign, besides the name, in, big letters, you do have the illustration and your name repeated again. I don't know how the other commissioners feel about the, duplication of the name on this particular sign. Does anybody have any issues with that? Does everybody have the visual of the proposed sign from last month?
We did talk about that, we did,
You better use the mic. Commissioner Amato is going to make some statements for those that are here remotely.
yeah, we did talk about that, we thought it was redundant, not necessary, but I don't know that we make a big issue out of it at this point. We were more concerned with the roof mount.
Okay, any, Commissioner Kelly, you're here before I go to remote. Do you have any issues with the, illustration on the left side?
No, not whatsoever. I didn't have it, no.
Okay.
Even if you look at, the bedroom and more, I think that with red and the white, I think next to it, I really can't read it, but I think that says a blue bedroom and more also. So,
Okay.
it's a moot point.
All right, and any commissioner that's, participating remotely, Commissioner Parkins, Commissioner Dickey, Commissioner Usel?
This is Commissioner Ticky. I have no further comments than what's been said.
Okay. Commissioner Parkins, do you have any comments, questions, or concern about the proposed, sign?
No, I just felt this was an opportunity for us to start cleaning up that village area, but I will go along with the majority of the commissioners if they're in favor of the signage.
Okay, and, Commissioner Usel?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Usel. I have no further comments.
Okay. All right, I would have to go on record that I wasn't really in favor of that particular illustration, but, I'll go along with the majority if, the rest of the commissioners so desire that be, erected as submitted. So, anybody else on the commission have any comments, questions, or concerns before we move on this particular application? Okay, is there a motion to approve or deny application 4673?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly has made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
A second.
There's a second from Commissioner Amato. On the motion to approve application 4673, I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Dickey?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
Commissioner Usel?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion has passed 6-0. Okay? Thank you very much, Mr. Catano. Good luck with your business.
Good luck.
I'm more grateful, thank you so much.
Okay.
Joe?
Yep, you're set. Next application for certificate of zoning compliance is application 4691. And, Commissioner Amato, do you have any comments from the sign committee on this particular one? It is, Ali Nasufi, 901 Bridgeport Avenue.
Oh.
This for an ice cream?
Well, we did have a discussion about this, we got it, well, this has gone up apparently without coming to us, and I, feeling about it, if it had come to us, we would have thought it was pretty bright, but it's there, and also, I think we asked, Josh to check into the PDD, what was on the PDD, if there was anything said about sign design, apparently there was not. So I think we're kind of, there it is.
All right, so this particular sign is already installed. Staff, any idea how long ago it was installed?
Probably a month ago.
Okay, did you happen to have any, discussion with the landlord? No, the landlord.
Yeah, we asked for that as well, because certainly we should know that, tell us tenants that we're going to sign the commission. And Ruth has suggested that we ask the applicant to see if they can change the border, to move that a little bit, border around the sign.
Before Mr. O'Neill comments, is the applicant here by any chance?
So you can't make it.
No, okay. Yeah, if this had come to us ahead of time, I definitely would have asked the applicant to perhaps lose the hourglass. And this is supposed to be for an ice cream store, right?
Ice cream and candy, yep.
Ice cream and candy.
Mark Wodomski.
Joined the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wodomski, Commissioner Wodomski, and Sarah, the records show that Commissioner Wodomski joined the meeting at 4:52. Okay, so, Commissioner Wodomski, if you, were not going to participate in the whole meeting, please make sure that you let me know, because then I would have to reseat Commissioner Youssef. Okay?
All right, I didn't receive the email earlier on, and I had a issue with getting into the meeting.
Okay. All right. So, in a case like this, then we have a vote after the fact. This is disappointing to me, and I hope that staff will make sure that they convey my particular regrets to the landlord, that they cannot be going ahead and just wrecking things. Doing a change in color in the border, I don't know if that's possible at this point. Yeah, you can certainly look into it and report back to the commission. However, I don't really see how, if they didn't cooperate with our application process ahead of time, I don't see them going too far along the way with making any changes to it right now. So, is there a motion to approve or deny application 4691?
Chairwoman, I'd just like to make a comment prior to us taking a vote on this.
Go ahead, Commissioner Parkins.
This is a well-known landlord, for this particular individual to claim that he did not know, I just find it a little suspect, but that being the case, that the sign is up, and I believe that the permit fee is double when they don't follow protocol. So the only thing I would suggest is that any multi-use building, and you know, like I said, this is a well-known builder in our town, that any multi-use building should have some sort of signage regulations imposed as statement of uses, whether it be just conforming or that has to come before, you know, a sign plan such as the Big Y did. So I'm not sure how this slipped through the commission without having any acknowledgement of the sign, but I think it's important just for continuity in these developments and for us not to put into these situations, that there be something put into the statement of uses that to confer with planning and zoning prior to signage. My only comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Parkins. I agree with you entirely. So staff can look into amending whatever documents that they use, maybe as a checkoff list, to make sure that we don't fall into this trap again. So before, anybody else have a comment? If not, is there someone that would like to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion.
That is a motion
To
approve
accept it, yeah.
from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Amato. So on the motion to approve application 4691, there's a roll call from Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins.
I would note that I would still request that they take off that pink border,
Okay.
just to calm it down a little bit.
Yep. I understand completely. Commissioner Ticky, your vote, please.
Yeah.
I would also welcome if they were to change the border.
Okay. Commissioner Mono?
Aye.
What's that?
And Commissioner Wodanski?
Aye, as long as they change the, with the recommendation, they change the border.
Okay, and the chair votes aye, along with the other commissioners, and I would also request that there's a change in the, color of the border. Next, sign item on the agenda is application 4687. Commissioner Mono, any comments from the, sign committee?
Yeah, I think this was our least discussion on this one, like, it was.
Circle.
Let me just identify it for the record. This is
Yeah.
application 4687 is John Farina, 549 Howe Avenue. It is a wall sign and a replacement of an awning.
The awning does come down, Josh was gonna check with the landlord about, we didn't recall ever approving that awning, one thing.
That's been up for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks better without the awning.
Yeah, it does.
No, for sure, I really appreciate the applicant taking care of that. By the way, is the applicant in here? Come on up to the podium, sir. You want to just identify yourself and your address, just in case we have to.
Greg Corvino, I'm partner with John Farina. I have this 106 Ansonia Road, Woodbridge, Connecticut. The business address is 549 Howell Ave.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Spell your last name, please, for the
C-O-R-V as in Victor, I-N-O.
Okay. All right, so, any commissioners participating remotely have any questions about this sign application? Does everybody have the visuals? Commissioner Kelly, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions, but I will say it looks a heck of a lot better than the awning.
Mm-hmm.
Really dresses it up.
Yeah, it does. The particular building that you're taking space in is a separate landlord than the one to the side where the photo portrait studio
I
is?
believe the owner of the building owns the whole building.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right, so, and you're not illuminating this?
At this point, no.
No, okay. Any changes to that? Do you have to come back to the commission?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, unless there's any commission with any comments, questions, or concerns, is there a motion to approve or deny this particular application?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
I'll second. Mr.
Second from,
Parkins.
second from Commissioner Parkins. On a roll call vote for the motion to approve from Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Parkins. Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
Commissioner Wodanski?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion is approved, 6-0. Good luck with your new business.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a nice.
Okay, our final application for certificate of zoning compliance is application 4068. The applicant, present. This is, Jose Fernandez, 47 Long Meadow Avenue.
Homeowner's on the phone, I believe.
Okay. Mr. Fernandez, are you on the phone?
Hi, no, yeah, I'm on the phone. Christine Jardum. It's for my residence. Jose Fernandez is our builder.
Oh, I see, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. So this was,
Hey, Ginny?
yes, Commissioner Wodanski?
Yeah, I'm gonna, up front, that's my neighbor down the street, so I'm not gonna take part in this conversation.
Okay, so you're gonna recuse yourself from this. So Commissioner Ucell?
Yes.
You'll be voting on this particular application. Thank you. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. So, in any event, this had been on the agenda last month. The commission looked it over. Staff was asked to get in touch with the applicant to make some changes, specifically to move the entrance to the in-law apartment from the front of the building to the side. And, I have to commend the applicant because they went to an engineer who provided one of the best sets of drawings that we've ever gotten. for an in-law setup. Mr. Panico especially, commented on that a lot of this was very clear and easy to understand. The only question that we had, Christine, is, we have the covered porch that comes off the side. Is there going to be some kind of sidewalk to access that from the front sidewalk that you have, or,
Yes. So, the builder had made a few recommendations. Obviously, he wants to keep it, presentable and looking nice. We could either do one from, our current walkway over to, that would wrap around to the side of the house. We're thinking that that's what we would go with.
okay, and you have, a stockade fence up there right now, so a portion of that is coming down?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Sure. In the Google map that we have, the street view, it shows a stockade fence on the right side of the house. And that's where the addition is going to be. So is the majority of that would be coming down?
Correct. Yes, that fence would be coming down.
Okay, so that sidewalk from the side entrance would wrap around to the front sidewalk that the Google Map street view shows goes from your front door all the way to the street. Is there going to be any kind of continuation to the driveway?
No. No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, I know the residents that are, the in-law setup is going to be built. Is your parents, do they have a car that they need to park?
No, they currently are not driving, which is part of the reason why we're moving them in.
Yep, and so there is really no need to extend a sidewalk from the driveway up to the front to wrap around to the side door for the in-law
Correct.
setup. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Any commissioner participating remotely have any questions about this? The A1 engineering drawing clearly shows the access from the in-law setup into the house with the common wall. It shows a wood deck that is accessible from the existing house as well as from the addition that would be built. And pretty much it's pretty cut and dry as to what the family is planning. So any commissioner participating remotely have any questions?
Chair, this is Commissioner Parkins.
Parkins.
The material for this was not provided to the commission that are participating remotely, is that correct?
You mean the drawings?
Yes.
They're on the city website. If you go on the planning and zoning page and scroll halfway down, there's 3 green, I think, lines, and one says COC, and that's where this particular, all of these, today's, applications for certificates of zoning compliance would be. I printed off my set just, after looking at it last week, I printed a hard copy off this morning.
I did the same.
Okay, I will take a quick look, but I'm based on the conversation that I heard, and the fact that it conforms to regulations and has Tony Panico's approval, I have no concern.
Good, all right, thank you. All right, Commissioner Ticky or Commissioner Usel, you have any comments, questions, or concerns about this particular application for the in-law?
This is Commissioner Ticky. I have the application in front of me, and I don't have any questions. It looks good.
Very good. Commissioner Usel, how about you?
This is Commissioner Usal. This also looks good to me, and I have no concerns.
Okay, Commissioner Amato, do you have any problems with this?
And I have it in front of me.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. And Commissioner Kelly?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, seeing that, you've gone over the application and, everything seems to be in order, is there anyone that would like to make a motion to approve or deny application 4608?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Amato, is that to approve?
Approved.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Commissioner Kelly. So on the motion to approve application 4608 from Commissioner Amato, seconded by Commissioner Kelly, do a roll call. Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Usal?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye, with the note that I did just pull up the drawing and I have no concern.
Okay. Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
And it's your vote, aye. Okay, Christine, you're all set. Just work with staff from this point on.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
You too. Excuse me. Next agenda item is other business. And the first is an 824 referral. Item I, under section A, parcel between Canal Street, formerly owned by Chromium Process, Assessors Map 129, Lot 31, about 1/10 of an acre. And the recommendation is for the sale of property for development. Mr. Basher, you're here from the city?
Well, I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, we have, some correspondence. This is dated January 11th. It's from Houlihan, Gumper, and Dowling, attorneys at law in Fairfield. And it's regarding today's agenda item A, 824 referral for parcel located on Canal Street. Dear Ms. Harger, the above item is on your agenda for the approval pursuant to Section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes of a contract to sell the property at 113 Canal Street to Primrose Development for a sales price of $100,000. The proposed sales price is substantially reduced from Primrose's original agreement to purchase this property for $250,000. That original agreement appears to have been renegotiated only 1 or 2 days before being submitted to the alderman for its approval. My client, Angelo M. Malisi Jr., is willing to purchase this same parcel, which has an area, according to the proposed contract, of .51 acres and not .10 acres, as stated on your agenda, for $250,000. As you know from past zoning approvals, Mr. Malisi is the principal owner of Bridge Street Commons 1 and Bridge Street Commons 2, both of which are located directly across Canal Street from the subject property. Mr. Malisi would propose to use the subject property for surface parking for the 2 Bridge Street properties. Under these circumstances, it would appear to be in the best interest of the city for the Planning and Zoning Commission to disapprove the proposed sale to Primrose and thereby allow Mr. Malisi the opportunity to present a detailed offer to the city. Very truly yours, Kevin J. Gumper.
So, just to clarify for the commissioners, this is for the sale of the piece of property previously owned by the Chromium Processing piece. It's a long rectangle. The commission had a referral a number of weeks ago or months ago for a small triangular piece that was about 1/10 of an acre for Angela Malisi to use for parking. I have a typo on the agenda that says the sale of 1/10. That is incorrect. It should be as corrected by the attorney Gumper. It should be .51, not .1 acres. And I ask that the commission please stay focused on what the task is at hand, which is to decide if the commission would like to recommend to the Board of Aldermen that the piece be sold for development or not. It's not, the intent is of 824 referrals is not to decide on prices. It's not to decide on who the benefactor is, or the usage of that property. That's what the RFPs were sent out for. That has all been done. So we always appreciate correspondence from the public, but I'd ask that the commission please stay on top.
Okay, so do any commissioners have any questions for Mr. Basher? And I see Attorney Chidoso. You're here in the audience as well. Any commissioners participating remotely have any questions before we go forward on this?
Could you
Commissioner Woodowski.
Could you please repeat the size of the, this is Commissioner Parkins, repeat the size of the parcel?
The size of the parcel is a rectangular shape that is 1/2 of an acre, plus or minus a very small amount.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Woodowski?
Yes, I have a question. It's a 1/2 acre, and the city negotiated $100,000, but somebody, just to make sure I understood the conversation correctly and that letter correctly, there was a higher offer, potentially higher offer for the property. Is that what I got out of that letter?
Commissioner Woodowski, there was an RFP sent out by the city couple months ago, there was, I believe, one offer received. As to the comments within this letter, there may be interest in a different party, but this is all after the fact. And I'd ask again that we please stay on topic. If the Board of Aldermen would like to send out a new proposal, that would be at their discretion. That is not the role of our commission.
Well, I am staying on topic here. My question is, and you didn't answer it, was there an interest for a higher price for that piece of property?
I would have to, I can answer that, Commissioner Radomski, unless Mr. Basher, did you want to make any comments? Give him a second, Mr. Basher is coming up to the podium.
Good afternoon. John Basher, Administrative Assistant to the Mayor. First of all, this property went out for an RFP or RFQ. Only one person responded. There was continued negotiations after the proposal was submitted. It's not only $100,000 under the contract. The contract also includes the buyer is going to provide additional construction on the Riverwalk as part of the purchase price. The purchase price is not just $100,000. And again, as Mr. Rossetti has indicated, this is an 824 referral asking the Planning and Zoning Commission pursuant to 824 to decide whether or not the city has other use for the property that you would otherwise have to vote against the 824 referral. This is part of the redevelopment downtown. The aldermen have approved, subject to the 824 referral, the contract as I described it.
I have a question.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly has a question, but can you just ask, can I just ask first, how long ago did the RFPs go out, request?
The RFP went out sometime in the fall, I believe.
All right, so it's been a good couple months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, what was like the number of people or?
We sent out 36, I believe. Over the asking, requesting people to bid on it, and we received only one.
Wow. Okay. Commissioner Kelly?
Yeah. We're asked to accept or not accept the referral of planning and zoning for the mayor to negotiate the sale of this property. Am I correct?
The 824 statute allows or requires the referral for the sale of any city-owned property to planning and zoning for the determination as to whether or not planning and zoning believes that there is other use for the property, so the property should not be sold.
Right. And we have nothing to do with the pricing of it.
No.
No.
So
That's correct.
I mean, what the paper says, what the paper doesn't say, that's not our problem.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns from any of the commissioners?
Is the agreement that was made with this one buyer, is that a final agreement, or is
Yeah, it was approved by the Board of Aldermen, subject again to the 824 referral. Obviously, if the 824 referral is denied, it would go back to the Board of Aldermen, which has the ability to be denied.
Which they have done at least once within the last year.
Yes, they have.
To try.
Yeah. And also. Yeah. Okay. All right, last call for any comments.
Chairwoman, this is Commissioner Ticky. I would just add that it's important that we coordinate among these offices, and if the mayor is going to negotiate for the sale of the property, that we as are tasked with, the development and further approvals, and we have tried to have a semblance of a plan for our downtown, for his office to be in touch with our commission and the planning and zoning office so that we can continue to know what they're working on with the support of the aldermen and however the mayor is going about negotiating this sale.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Ticky. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have one more question.
That's Commissioner Radomski.
The RFP, was that done before or after the submission for an 824 paperwork?
The RFP was done It clearly was done before,
Said it was done in the fall.
done in the fall, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but at the time of the RFP, were we sure we were going to sell the property, or were we looking for the RFP if it came before the 824?
This particular piece of property was always designated as being something that would be used at some point in time for commercial development. This is not a secret. This is something that the city has been very clear in, that at some point, this particular piece of property was going to be used for development. So the process entailed the city issuing the request for the RFPs. That was done, as Mr. Basher and Mr. Nappy indicated, over 30 went out and only one person replied. So the city apparently went ahead and discussed it with that particular person, and they came up with some kind of an agreement, and but it's contingent on a favorable referral from the Planning and Zoning Commission. And as Mr. Rossetti explained, whatever the negotiated price that was decided on is not part of our particular purview at all. That is part of the city's responsibility. And the 824 referral just designates to the city that planning and zoning does not feel that we need to use this property for any other purpose.
And I just
Commissioner Mata?
yeah, sorry. I think what I'm hearing from Commissioner Dickey and Wadowski is a question about the order that's and a desire that we be informed if there's property sold, because after it's gone out and everybody's decided, it doesn't seem like we have any role in looking at the property and having some input as to its use, that it might be a public use, instead of a commercial use. Is that correct?
I can understand that, but remember there is that final segment of this is that if we were any 824 referral that we report unfavorably to the Board of Aldermen, they can override anyways. So while it would have been the best practice to give us the 824 referral first, if any 824 referral that we report unfavorably can be overturned by the Board of Aldermen.
Understood, but we might have
Madam Chairman?
active input that would be helpful.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Panico, go ahead. You had wanted to.
Yes, I think the other point that should be made. This is not a traditional 824 referral of a piece of land that the city happens to own anywhere in the city. It's a piece of land that the city has title to within a development from which we got state funding. And our obligation to the state is to prepare and sell that property for development. So it's kind of we're part of the chain of command. And we should not, at this point in time, be involved in the price of the land or the particular development on the land. It's whether or not the city should sell it, and they're obligated by their state agreements to sell it. So.
This is Commissioner Wadowski.
Wait a minute, Commissioner Wadowski, hold on. Mr. Panico, thank you for bringing that up about the obligation to the state. And Commissioner Wadowski, before I give you the floor, Commissioner Kelly had already asked to make a comment.
I have to concur with Mr. Panico, because at our subcommittee planning and zoning for downtown, it was always stated that this was for development use, and he's exactly right. That's when it was reclaimed, so on and so forth. It was made known that this was going to be resale for development.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Wadowski, you have the floor.
Yeah, I have no issues with the sale of the property for commercial development down there. But by golly, let's get the biggest bang for the buck here.
That is the Board of Aldermen's responsibility. That is not ours. So if there is an upcoming meeting of the Board of Aldermen that has on their agenda that, they will take comments from the public. You're more than welcome to, appear as a member of, a resident and make comments towards that end. But as Mr. Thatcher explained, it is just not a cash sale of $100,000. There is work in lieu of for doing the, work on the Riverwalk that the city apparently, agreed that would be part of the purchase price. So instead of them getting a full cash sale, part of it was going to be work in kind, so to speak. Okay?
Chairwoman, this is Commissioner Ticky.
Go ahead.
As was earlier said, I was in Planning and Zoning downtown subcommittee meetings where the mayor did say this was a developable property, and that's what then got us talking about parking. So just so I hope we all agree that we just need to be in communication then with the mayor's office, because this lot currently provides 70 some odd parking spots, and you can drive by almost any time, and it's almost always full. And so it will have an effect on the people who live down in that area, live on Canal Street. And as we reemerge from COVID, we'll be back in the shop. So we need parking in downtown. And if this lot is going to be taken offline for more development that will bring more people down there, we need to have a plan that includes parking before that happens.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Ticky. I believe that the mayor's office, it's already public knowledge that the city is leasing Eversource property for parking. So there is something coming online at some point. So hopefully that will offset it. But the mayor has always taken the position that there is parking downtown. Unfortunately, not every single parking space is in front of the place that you would want to visit or patronize, but there is parking downtown. So, but it's always good to keep in mind as to what it's going to look like. And one of the things that we do have going for us is that any developments that we have approved have to provide for parking on site. And for instance, I think Mr. Malisi's doing an excellent job with his plan, the building that's coming along, that he has 2 levels of parking. Mr. De Silva's property, the former Webster Bank corner lot, that has parking on site, and Mr. Stanziel definitely provided for parking on site. So that is definitely something that we're keeping in front of us. All right, any other comments? Okay, if not, is there a motion from anyone? Oh, sir?
Yes, I'm Kevin Humper. I'm here to speak on behalf of this,
Okay.
with this application. I wrote the letter. My client, Mr.
Okay, go ahead, Attorney Number. We usually don't have someone from the public or the representative from an applicant, other than an applicant, to speak, so go ahead. I didn't mean to oversee you. Go ahead.
First of all, you're being asked here to file or make a report pursuant to Section 8-24 of the general statute. And I've heard several people say that what limits there are on what you can do and cannot do. In fact, there's no such statutory limit. The only thing you're required to do is, the only limit on what you do is that it is to be, the proposal is to be taken before you, it has to be referred to the commission for a report. There's no limit on what the report can talk about, whether it makes, so what the basic thing is, you're the planning commission, and your job here is to probably decide whether, in a general sense, it makes sense for the city of Shelton. Does it make sense for the city of Shelton to sell the property for $100,000 for a project that you don't know what it's going to be? Or does it make more sense for the city to sell to Mr. Malisi for $250,000 when he's willing to say right now, he'll pay that over and he'll provide that for parking spaces for his buildings and for the town generally in that area. A little bit of history here. This apparently, based on the materials that have been submitted to you in connection with this, which I'm reading from, this was in October. Contract was prepared apparently by Mr. Tedosio, but I'm not sure. which called for a price for $250,000, and it was contingent upon a building being built, which was going to have a certain number of square feet and provide a garage with a certain number of parking spaces. Subsequently, on December 12th, that was changed around, and without any notice to the public in general, and the price was dropped to $100,000. There's going to be no garage, and there's no plan at present for a building on there. There is no building. The plan has been eliminated because apparently the borrower lost, or the buyer lost his tenant. So somehow that was the city's problem and not his problem, and he reduced the price by more than half. Mr. Malisi owns a little triangle. If you have your papers that were submitted with this, there's a little triangular piece that I call it 113 Canal Street, and that may or may not be what the city calls it, and that is owned by 113 Canal LLC, which is Mr. Malisi. And that presently has utilities on it for the city in general, and in particular for Bridge Street Commons 1, Bridge Street Commons 2, and parking for Mr. Malisi. Mr. Malisi has been here twice for major projects right downtown, right across the street on Bridge Street 1, Bridge Street 2. In both cases, the commission looked favorably upon it because there was parking right on Canal Street, and with the understanding, I believe was implicit, if not explicit, that Mr. Malisi would provide additional parking on the street, not on the street, additional parking along Canal Street, which is exactly what he wants to do here. And he's very concerned that you're going from a project that might have had a lot of parking and solved the problem to a situation where you don't know what's going to be built there, and you don't know whether there's going to be any parking there, and it's going to bring more cars to this area without perhaps adequate parking, which is his main concern. And it seems to have been rushed through. I mean, it only went to the alderman on Thursday, and here it is before you the following Tuesday. He would have had a more elaborate presentation had we had a little more time. But I'll repeat that I don't believe there's any limitation on what you can do here. I've actually been before other towns with properties not being sold because the Planning and Zoning Commission, the Planning Commission determined that price was not adequate or wasn't supported. I think there was a appraisal somewhere that this piece was worth $475,000, and now it's being sold for $100,000, and I'm wondering what's going to come next.
You're welcome, thank you. Trinity Delta? Can you clarify what Attorney Gumper was referring to as to no limit on what we can report on? Give us some guidance on that, or?
I can clarify that there is a disagreement as to whether or not the Planning and Zoning Commission should comment on anything that's the planning aspects of the project. Very candid 824 is part of the Planning and Zoning General Statutes, and it's my opinion that you really only peripherally pass on anything with regard to price. You're in this instance, if you will, the Planning Commission, not the Zoning Commission, and you are looking at the property, in my opinion, for purposes of deciding if it's good for the overall design, in this case of the downtown area, and not really with regard to value. That's what our RFP was for. That's what the negotiation was all about. Since you are talking about value and it's being bandied about, it seems to have some concern, or some of the members have concern about it. Put all the information on the table. The brick walk construction has a value of approximately $137,000. So when you add that to the $100,000, you're comparing 237 to 250, and then you're comparing a project that would be a parking lot with a project that's going to come before you under the contract for approval. You'll know exactly what's there.
Okay. Trinity, you had prepared the RFP?
I did not prepare it, but the RFP came out Asher's office would,
Okay.
help us.
Okay, all right. An RFP would have a deadline by which someone would have to respond, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so,
One more comment, please.
all right, Attorney Thumper,
I've heard several.
come on up to the mic quick.
Everyone's, heard several comments and mentions of the $137,500 for the Riverwalk,
Mm-hmm,
but that's an enhancement to Primrose's existing property next door. Keep that in mind, like if, I'm putting in a fence in front of my house and telling you that it's a great improvement for the city.
mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I personally feel that, we are overstepping, going outside of our responsibility when we start talking about price and value and what the total is going to be. That is Board of Aldermen. Our responsibility is to report favorably or unfavorably on the sale of this property. There is, an RFP was sent out, there was a deadline. Why, out of the 30-something that were sent out, only one replied? I don't know. We can't get into that, but our whole responsibility right now is to either report favorably or unfavorably on the sale of this particular piece of property. And everything else after that, as to the valuation, is Board of Aldermen's responsibility, not ours. So unless anybody else has any comments, questions, or concerns, I'd like to move forward with a motion to either approve or deny a favorable referral for the 825 referral for Assessors Map 128, Lot 31.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, there is a motion from Commissioner Kelly for approval or denial?
Approval.
For approval. Is there a second?
Commissioner Parkins will second.
Okay, Commissioner Parkins is seconding the motion for approval. Okay, so on the move,
Madam Chairman,
go ahead.
your motion, I think, was erroneous. Assessors map 129, not 128.
Did I read it wrong?
I think you read it wrong,
Okay,
and it's lot 31.
okay. It could be that my glasses are just not on the right part of my nose. So I'll clarify that. It's Assessors Map 129, Lot 31. So if I misspoke, that's the correction. All right, so there is a motion on the table to approve a favorable referral for the 824 from Commissioner Kelly, second from Commissioner Parkins, and on a roll call vote, Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Wodanski,
No.
your nay, and the chair votes aye, and the motion has passed 5-1. Thank you. All right, next on, two other business agenda items concern bonds, and the first is for the release of a $30,000 performance bond for Highland Estate subdivision. Mr. Rossetti, do you have comments on this?
I'll let our zoning enforcement officer have a quick second.
Okay.
So this was part of the, three-lot subdivision, Highland Golf, on Jefferson Street.
Mm-hmm.
Main purpose of the bond was, performance bond, just to ensure that the work being done to extend the sewer, to those two new houses on Jefferson Street, was done. The city engineer is satisfied, and we're satisfied with, the remainder of the project.
Okay, very good. Any questions from the commission? Okay, is there a motion to approve a $30,000 bond release for Highland Estates based on the recommendations from staff and city engineer?
Make a motion.
There's a motion from Commissioner Kelly to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Motto. And a roll call vote. Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky.
Aye.
Commissioner Motto.
Aye.
Commissioner Wodanski.
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion's passed 6-0. Next is a performance bond reduction to $75,000 maintenance bond from a $145,000 performance bond for Riverside Drive. And we have comments again from Mr. O'Neill.
Yes, so this is the new apartment building, well, an older building, and the new street, Riverside Drive, the connector from Canal Street onto Bridge Street.
Mm-hmm.
So this is being reduced into a maintenance bond, for the actual road, until it's accepted by the Board of Aldermen, and then for a certain period of time after that.
Okay, so everything has been done according to the plans that were submitted and approved, and this is just to keep some money aside so that if anything further has to be taken care of, this would cover it.
Correct.
Okay? Or at least the developer would have to cover it and the other forfeit maintenance, the maintenance bond. Okay, any commissioner have any comments, questions, or concerns?
Is this for the shopping plaza? The little,
Riverside Drive is the one off Canal Street that wraps around to the bridge that goes over to Derby that ends in front of Attorney Thomas's law firm.
it's a little commercial area?
It's in back of Spongex.
What's that?
You know the Spongex building that?
Yes.
Okay, that's the little street that was put in there that wraps around and connects to the bridge that goes over the river to Derby.
Madam Chairman?
Okay, Mr. Nappy has comments?
Yes, with this project, the state had recommended that the Bridge Street, I'll call it Bridge Street South, be closed, and that's the side street that went along the bridge to Derby. Taking the place was this new road, which goes from by the railroad tracks, circles through the development, which is called River Loss, and goes and ties into the Route 34 connection and bridge reconstruction on that. So part of it had to be approved by DOT engineering, and of course our engineer, as Mr. O'Neill said, both inspected and found it to go to maintenance to be okay.
So is the street that used to run alongside that building between the bridge, is that now closed, formally closed?
That's now closed. It's going to be partially greenway and a bike path, which connects to the new bridge. I think that was put in a couple of months ago. I put online the new bridge construction and what the final looked like. And, we had some copies passed out at that time.
Thank you for the clarification.
Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Okay, is there anyone that would like to offer a motion to approve or deny the performance bond reduction from $145,000 to $75,000 maintenance bond?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
There's a motion to approve. Commissioner Kelly? Okay, from Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Parkins, that's a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So on a roll call vote. Commissioner Amato? Aye. Commissioner Wodanski?
No.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion is passed, 5-1. Next on the agenda, comments from the chair and subcommittee. The only comment that I have is that staff will be distributing. You should have all received the memo that gives the title 100 days, so that you have the dates and the expected agenda items for meetings throughout the end of the rest of January, all of February, all of March, and the beginning of April.
Yeah, that's already been changed.
Okay, and Mr. Rossetti indicated that there's been some modifications to that already, so, but at least you have the dates. Will stay the same, it's the content. Okay, Mr. Commissioner Kelly, you have any comments?
No, I'm going to refer to Mr. Nappy.
And that's regarding downtown subcommittee?
Yeah.
That's correct. Again, limited by numbers, so we haven't been able to have an actual committee meeting.
Okay.
but the five major developers did get together, to go over with the police department, their new construction, and how many apartments would be coming downtown, and, to request some enhanced patrol and crime prevention techniques. I might add that 72 parking spots were added by the city on leasing the Eversource parking lot, which is across from Carroll's, the old Carroll's, and it's called Cedar Village. That brings the number of the surface lot inventory to about 590 spots. Part of the problem with people parking there are twofold. One, they don't know about it, some of them, and two, lighting and enhancements. The Board of Aldermen has approved some money to provide for signage in the downtown area. The developers got together and came up with some signage, which they will be proposing to the administration. And the money would provide signs to outline where the public parking is. In addition, to provide some funds for lighting, enhanced lighting at some of those parking locations.
Does the Eversource have a night to light program?
Yeah, that we're looking at that, and they also have some lights which they'll be installing that aren't working properly.
Okay, thank you.
So the parking garage is always a subject which is brought up and hopefully will someday come about. I might add that the development parcel on Howe Avenue, where Howe Convenience Store was located in the apartments, which burnt down by fire, has been under successful contract and has been sold. And the developer does not know at this time what exactly he's going to do with the property.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nappy. Commissioner Amato, do you have any comments regarding the zoning subcommittee?
No, I think as far as the signs, I hope that's helpful to the total.
Very good. Okay, next agenda item is staff comments. Mr. Rossetti?
None at this time.
None at this time. Mr. O'Neill, nothing at this time. And I'm assuming Mr. Nappy, nothing further. Okay, Mr. Panico, how about yourself?
No, I'm okay.
Very good. Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is item E, minutes available for review. It's a notation that the December 8th, 2020 special meeting minutes are online. Please make sure you're acquainted with them because they'll be on the January 27th, 2021 agenda for approval. Seeing that there's no further agenda items, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Motion to adjourn from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second? Second for Commissioner Amato on a roll call. Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Hickey?
Aye.
Commissioner Radomski?
Aye.
And Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion is passed 6-0, and the meeting is adjourned as of 5:45 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Hold on.